Hey, everybody, and welcome to another speaker interview for ng-conf. Today we have with us Brian Love. Brian, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, Joe?
Oh, I'm doing really well. Are you getting excited for ng-conf this summer?
I am so excited. It feels like I just need this, right? Just to
Yeah.
hang out with everybody, get back to the Grand America. I'm just so pumped for it. Been waiting so long to get back and see everybody and learn new things and meet new people. So very excited.
Likewise. All right. So in this this interview, what we're trying to do is we want to get to know Brian Love a little bit. So I'm going to start right in with the questions. And
all right, let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. So first off, how'd you get into programming?
That's a great question. So I got into programming very young. I was probably like 12 years old. And I don't know if you remember, like back in the day in like Internet Explorer, you could do this thing called view source. And I was like, well, that's interesting. What is this? And so I just really like the idea of creating things. I think that programming is very creative at its core. And so I really enjoyed the idea of just kind of like, wow, I can put a little bit of HTML and CSS and didn't really have any idea what I was doing, but I could kind of assemble things together almost like a kit, like grab something from here, grab something from there, copy paste this little JavaScript, and I could get something to like display on the screen. And I thought that was really fascinating. And so I just kind of dug into it. And so here I am today. Here I am with 25 years experience or whatever, quote unquote experience of just like building for the web. I've always just thought the internet is so exciting. I kind of grew up during that time of the internet being this new thing. And so, yeah, that's how I got started. It was fun.
That's awesome. So have you ever gone in and modified the source and made your bank account have like $1 million in it?
Yeah, it's funny when like people want like they would like verify, send us a screenshot of something. And I'm just like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, right. You just go ahead and change anything on the like. You got to go to a third party to get it verified. You can't tell me to verify it. Like I can give you a PDF. Oh, you want a PDF of that? Sure, I can get a PDF of anything. What do you want?
That's it is so funny, isn't it?
Yeah. When you know that you like when you know you can do that, like they're like, oh, just send us a PDF for your bank statement. It's like, but you can't just ask me to do it. Like just, but yes. Yeah.
So true. All right. Let's talk about your programming languages. What programming languages? We all know you know JavaScript and TypeScript, but do you know any other interesting programming languages?
Yeah. So, I mean, when I first got started doing web development many years ago, this front end engineer, back end engineer type roles, like it wasn't a thing. You just were a web developer. You were full stack, quote unquote. So I also had a more traditional background in that in order to get into being a developer, you had to actually like go through computer science school. So I've done a ton of, certainly in school, we, C, C++, Java was kind of what you had to do, Perl, Python. I did some Cold Fusion back in the day when that was like popular. Yeah. I think that was like the Macromedia days, So, and then, tons of, lots of SQL, like, because that's what we did, right? So I've written tons of TSQL, a lot of obviously just like ANSI, whatever, SQL statements, all of that for backend. So yeah, I've dabbled in like Ruby on Rails. I've always thought it was really exciting. I remember when that came out and like everybody was like kind of jumping ship on it. I thought it was really cool, but I just never had a professional opportunity. So I played with it, but like until you get paid to do something and really dig into it, like you just play with it, which is always fun as a programmer to kind of see how it works and the structure and all of that. Let's see, I did a small stint where I built out an iOS application. So I wrote some Objective-C. Nice. So, but I wouldn't call myself like an iOS developer or anything like that. But yeah, so I've definitely dabbled in lots of different programming languages. And obviously, if you want to consider HTML programming language, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript, all that kind of stuff. So
awesome. Yeah. So what do you think is the most useless technology that you know?
The most useless technology? Oh, geez. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm very confused by Web3. I don't know if that's a useless technology. I gotta be honest, I'm very skeptical of this. I
I'm
think
getting
it's
ads to
exciting.
buy my
I
NFT
know.
name.
I know. I think it's a little interesting, and we'll see where it all goes. In terms of like it's hard to envision what that kind of looks like. So I don't know if I would say it's useless, but to right now it feels a little useless. But I'm sure a lot of people would be like, well, you just don't understand it, and that's probably more of what it is. But yeah, I don't. I struggle to understand why buying a monkey
Yeah.
image
All right.
is, you know, controversial.
Yeah, definitely. That's a hot take right there. That
That
is a
is a
hot
hot
take.
take.
Uh-huh. What's your favorite technology that is no longer really used?
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'll go out and do another spicy hot take.
Uh-huh.
I'll say Flash action
Flash.
script.
You
I
really
mean,
like
come on.
Flash.
No, I didn't. I did not like Flash, but it was a bridge. Okay,
Uh-huh.
we had to get from one side to the other side, and
Right.
Flash actually was this bridge. Now I understand maybe it wasn't the best bridge in the world, but at least we could do things that, because the web was just not moving, right? I
Mhm.
mean, like IE like basically bought all the market share and then just sat on it. And it was just like, but we want to like move this as a platform forward.
Right.
And it was so disheartening at the time. And so Flash actually was like a sliver of hope, right?
Yeah.
And ActionScript is based on ECMAScript-ish. And so like as a front-end JavaScript developer, I was like, oh, I can do this. I can tween something on the screen. I can do that.
Mhm.
With that said, I'm glad it is dead at this point.
Right.
Like I think
Right.
we're all glad, but
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. Let's talk about Angular. What is your favorite part of Angular?
I know, here's the thing. We all were there one day. Remember that like you first saw Angular and somebody showed you that sexy, beautiful two-way data binding, and you were just like, what?
Mind blown.
Mind blown.
Yep.
I'll never forget like the first time I saw, I don't even know what year this was, like 2015, I don't know, years ago. I saw that like somebody did I was at like an Ajax conference. This was back when like Ajax and all maybe it was before 2015, I don't know. And like Angular JS was just coming out, and I never really got into, there's a couple other like frameworks at the time, but I was doing a lot of like prototype JS and jQuery and all this stuff. And then I saw Angular JS and the two-way data binding syntax, and I was just like, oh yeah, I'm done with this jQuery shit. Like I'm going on, like I'm hitching my wagon to this puppy. And so I think like that was really instrumental for me. And then, you know, going into like not Angular JS, going into Angular, I just really liked the idea of TypeScript at the time, and like, it just felt so mature to me. And maybe going back to this more traditional kind of Java decorators and annotations, and we've got classes. That's debatable. Maybe we've swung too far in that direction within the Angular world, because it is quite complex. But I just really like the idea of components and being able to like just build something, small pieces of something to put it all together into this larger thing. And I think that's what Angular did for a lot of us, was this idea of breaking things down into components. And that's where we are today with pretty much, I mean, I would say most every modern web framework is built on this idea of components. And so that's just, yeah, I think Angular did a really good job. No matter what happens to Angular in the future or wherever that ship kind of goes, I think Angular really changed the ecosystem in that regard.
Yeah, I agree. So then what's your least favorite part of Angular?
Oh, now you want to get spicy.
Oh yeah, now we're getting spicy.
Yeah, let's get spicy. This is like hot. I feel like I'm on, is it Hot Wings or what's the show there where they do the chicken wings and they start it like I think it's Hot Wings.
I don't watch the cooking shows. I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. You know, they're good to watch because they go from like super mild wings and they get all the way to like the, you know, death defying. You touch it with your tongue and you're melting, you know. The one with Shaq is awesome. You guys will watch that one. Anyways, I would say, we're ratcheting up the spice level here. I would say that probably the thing that I, you know, kind of to my previous point, one of the things I like about React is like functional single file components. And when you get into an Angular workspace, we have so many files. You've got all these things, you get the separation of the template. And I know you can put it all in line, and I do like that. Sometimes we can just have the template and the styles right in line. But I would love to see us go to, just something that's a simple function, more of a functional
So
style syntax.
let me just say it this way. Would you agree with JSX and Angular?
I'm good with JSX.
Yeah.
I will say, I remember when I first saw JSX and I was just like, oh, no, 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 no. I did that.
We did
I
this in
shouldn't have said I did
ASP.
PHP. I did
Yeah,
PHP and
PHP,
stuff.
right?
And I was like, yeah, this like, open syntax PHP, and then I'm going to for each this thing. And it just, at first it felt like, oh, that's a bad idea. And I don't know, I've done some React projects and I'm like, this isn't so bad. This is kind of nice. It's just take this array and map it out to components. And so, yeah, I would not hate if we had like JSX as an option in Angular.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay. All right.
Spicy.
Last like serious-ish question is, let's talk about your talk. What are you gonna be talking on?
Absolutely. So I'm going to be talking about site reliability engineering, or SRE. And so I know that this is not maybe Angular specific, but I think as Angular developers, one of the things that we kind of lose a little bit is, determining, how can we really have reliable web applications? And how does that result in like happy customers and happy product owners, reducing downtime and frustration? How can we really start to understand the experience of our customers, both geographically as well as technologically? And then how can we start to automate incident response processes? I think, maybe some of us can relate to this. You might be 2 a.m. or on a Saturday afternoon, and pager duty's hitting your phone and you're getting pinged, and all of a sudden people are going, oh, the site's down, or whatever it is. And now you got to scramble, and you create a war room, and you go in and you start, figuring out what's going on. And I think one of the things that we could do better as engineers is really start to understand how we can deal with the struggle of the balance and struggle, kind of this, almost like the Star Wars, like, you've got these two opposing forces, and you want to build features, you want to innovate your product. Absolutely. But we also need to balance that with reliability. And how are we building really high quality applications that are reliable and that our customers are happy to use, and that we can reduce downtime. And so I want to introduce some things to developers, like things that terms that we've never even heard of, maybe as front-end engineers and as Angular developers, terms like service level objectives, or SLOs, or service level indicators. How do we put indicators and measure and monitor our systems so we know that our systems are up and working? And I think as front-end engineers, we often say, oh, no, Brian, that's not for us. That's the back end. Like, we don't have to worry about that. But the reality is as front-end engineers, when we're building an Angular app, if the back end isn't responding or isn't working, that's also our responsibility. That's our problem. So how do we deal with that? So how do we measure and monitor and assess the reliability of our web applications? And how do we actually put time in our sprints to focus on reliability and not just innovative features? Because oftentimes, and as a consultant, I've come in and observed clients that have just gone down the path of innovation so heavily, and that's fantastic, but then they're struggling with reliability, they're struggling with technical debt. And so I want to introduce people to this concept of kind of reliability, and how we can have engineering around site reliability.
Cool. All right. Well, so you seem pretty passionate about it. What got you passionate about that?
I think what gets me passionate about it is, I think this is kind of, again, as front-end engineers, we've kind of delegated this to the back end, and we just figure it's not our responsibility. And I think the reality is, and you can read, there's a great book, an O'Reilly book by Google called Site Reliability Engineering. And I think their hypothesis is true, is that it is the responsibility of the front end to know when the back end is down. And so we can best measure the reliability of our websites at the point of the point of the spear, which is our users actually using our applications and what their experience is with applications. And if we can start to understand that user experience in terms of reliability, then we can start putting indicators around that and having objectives. So that way we can make our site as reliable as possible.
Cool. That's very cool. All right. I love it. Okay. Well, we're going to wrap up here with some more spicy. These are,
Okay,
these are A or B questions. I'm going to give you two choices, A or B. You have to pick one, A or B. No explanation necessary.
No other.
No C, no other. Nope. Yeah, that's even the tough part about it. It's gonna be like, death by death. I'm gonna give you two terrible options.
Oh, gosh.
No, it'll be all kinds of stuff.
We're not doing politics or religion, right?
No politics or religion.
Okay, good.
Nope. Two options. You pick one. No need for an explanation. We just want to know
A or B.
What is it? Yeah. What does Brian prefer? All right. You ready?
All right. Let's do it.
Quick. Kirk or Picard?
Wait, and one's A, one's B.
Well, you just say you do Kirk or Kirk. Okay. All right. Here. Ruby or Scala?
Oh God, definitely not Scala. I've dabbled in Scala and it hurts. It's like a mind melding thing. So
Ruby.
So Ruby.
Okay. Game of Thrones or Squid Game?
Squid Game.
Okay. All right. Golf or mini golf?
Oh, that's hard. Oof. There's so much context around that. Who am I with? Am I on vacation? What am I doing? I don't. Golf.
Manga or mangoes?
Mangoes.
Twilight or Batman?
I never got into Twilight. Batman.
All right. Football or football?
Football.
All right.
100% hard.
Here's
this. Come on. I mean, the whole world plays football, and we have it's silly that we call like when we have the Super Bowl, it's like World Championship. It's like, that's like a diner in your local town that says world famous. It's like,
right.
I mean, you're world famous in your world. That's it. Right. I'll stop it there.
Okay, good. That's spicy. That's a hot take.
That's
all right.
spicy.
This is the spiciest. This is the one. This last one's the spiciest one right here.
All right, let's do it.
Episode 8 or episode 9?
Ooh. 9.
All right. Okay. That's a spicy one, isn't it?
That's a spicy one.
Yeah. Yep. That's a spicy one. Okay. Well, awesome. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate your time. Really look forward to seeing you in person and getting to see your talk. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Fantastic. We'll see you all there.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep. Bye.